Alright everyone, I hope that everything is working correctly. Let me know. I've seen that some of you are already in the chat, so if you can hear me, if you can see me, please say so. That would be really appreciated, because this is my first ever live stream, so not really sure about how this all works. So I'm gonna score it today with you. In the meantime, here's a blank canvas for today. So last week we were looking, well, actually this week I guess, we were looking at a nice workflow that we had for animating. I'm gonna draw it up a sec. Just one moment. There we go. And this workflow was really cool, I think. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna actually leave you the video right here. Just 1 second. Gonna leave you the link down below. Share, copy, and there you go. So if you want to take a look at that, that is a fast and easy way to animate with Stable Diffusion and Blender, or any 3D program really. And what it's based on is just a small number of keyframes. In this example, it's 9 keyframes that have been rendered inside of Blender with a very simple scene, and then passed through a quick workflow with whichever model really you want, and then you get those keyframes and then use those keyframes to get an animation. So you only really need a very easy animated diff pipeline, a control net pipeline, and two IP adapter pipelines in order to get these kind of animations. So all in all, I think it was kind of good. At least it was easy, and you didn't have to use anything like EBSynth or anything like that. But today, it's all about testing out new stuff. It's all about, you know, trying things out. So if you want to know more about this animation tutorial, you can look up the link in the chat. Otherwise, we can just clear the board and start from scratch. I have a few suggestions for you. We can either try our hand at doing some IP adapter stuff for clothes, which I've been banging my head about trying to do the past few months. Actually, I first started doing this kind of stuff I think back in August. IP adapter wasn't even out there, and but that's just because I am a fashion photographer, and I stumbled upon with the use of control net about a way to generate people wearing clothes, and then IP adapter came out. So I'm still in the middle of actually trying to do all these kind of things. And yeah, so that's an option for today. Otherwise, we could explore some more animation with you. Otherwise, we could explore some more Blender, even in real time if you want to. So, or if you have any suggestions, please feel free to say so in the chat. Otherwise, I'm gonna decide. But since this is a kind of a democracy, you can comment, and we can see where we can go from there. Don't be shy, don't be lurkers. I can accept any kind of suggestions that are thrown my way. So in the meantime, let's actually do something related to fashion photography. And then if you don't like it, you can say so. You can build something from scratch that chat likes. But so the main idea with clothing is that, at least in fashion photography, at least for something that you actually need to sell, because we fashion photographers sell clothes, is that you need to have a product that is, if not 100% the same to the one you're selling, at least, let's say 95% similar. And that's because at least for e-commerces, return rates are something that they're most afraid about. So actually, I was in talks with a few big e-commerces here in Europe. I don't kiss and tell, but and we were, so I can't name names, but we were talking about ways to integrate generative AI into e-commerce solutions. And after running a few tests, I had something, actually I'm going to show it to you. Where do I have it though? Just one sec. So I had something that could generate people wearing, let's see, that it is. So I had something that could generate people, this was back in August, that could generate people starting from a simple image. And this was basically a still life image of an item of clothing, and apart from the cringe name, which was Poltergeist, basically I didn't need IP adapter, because what it was doing, it was just filling the clothing with a person inside. Now obviously there were some limitations to it. There was the fact that anything but the item of clothing was fake. So in this case, the trousers underneath are fake, so you can't sell those. Oh, hello, Luma. How are you? Nice seeing you here. And also, the main issue was that it was always a perfect fit. So that wasn't great, but remember, this was back in August, so IP adapter wasn't out. We were working with, I think 1.5, SDXL just came out, but I don't think control nests were available yet back in August. And so I had this kind of solution, and this was what brought me to talks with e-commerces. But one of the things they said was that they needed to have full outfits. Now, if you want to play this game, this is actually kind of fun. But since you're all interested in AI stuff, I think you can at least try to deduce which ones are fake. You're kind of used to this by now. But yeah, this was part of the presentation, to just try and see which one of these were fake people. But yeah, this was short-lived because I couldn't produce a full outfit, or at least we could if we wanted to shoot all the items on a mannequin. But you know, a mannequin is not as supportive as a real person, so you would have to spend a lot more time than actually waiting for a model to dress up. So that wasn't quite the right idea behind it. But anyway, if you want to try your hand at telling me which ones of these models are not real, I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are not real. Remember, this was back in August. But yeah, this was kind of a cool application that I drew up. But yeah, short-lived but fun. Another thing that we tried to do, like everything else, everyone else is trying to do really, is virtual try-ons. But the thing that we are most, how do you say that in English? That we're stuck with is the fact that details are not quite there. Like here, the details are all the same because the item of clothing is the same. It's literally the same. It's just a person that fills up the space that is not the clothing. Whereas if you try your hand, I'm sorry, Fabio Garcia, which platform is this one? No, this one is a pitch deck for a software, or at least an app, or I just like a software as a service kind of service that I was developing back in August, September, October, and then it kind of fell off because e-commerces, like I was in talk with e-commerces here in Europe, and they all wanted a full outfit, something that was capable of doing a full outfit, and this wasn't capable of doing that because this starting from an e-commerce image, let's say this one on the left, and then generated a person wearing it with the same spatial coordinates, so all based on a control net, and so the item was able to be photoshopped on top of the generated image. The generated image had a different outfit, but since it had the same spatial coordinates, you could just copy paste it on top, and the item would be the same. You can see here the little logo from, I think it's Polo Ralph Lauren, is the same here on the right. There's no difference really. Something that you can't do with virtual try-ons and IP adapters. But what I was saying was that what we want to do now is to try and use IP adapter to kind of, I don't even know if zero shot is the right word for it, but we are trying to develop a way to generate the same item of clothing and the same garments on top of generated people, with the same logos, with the same textures, with everything else that is the same. But the thing is that Clip Vision, which is the underlying tech to all of this, doesn't see at a high enough resolution. So I don't actually know if I'm allowed to show you this. Let's say I am. At least I hope I am. But let's see. So let's see which one I can actually show you, because like being a fashion photographer is kind of hard, because every single time I'm trying to do something, you can't show stuff until it's released, and it's always released months after you've done it. But let's see if I can actually show it. I'm gonna change the scene just a sec so it doesn't show up on screen. Okay, just 1 second. Yeah, Luma, the consistency of the garment is a big issue. Okay, I'm gonna show you just a part of what we were trying to do, which should be enough. Okay, let's take this one and let's zoom in here. Okay, sorry it took so long, but I can't show you everything. And this, okay, where's the reference image? There we go. Okay, I can change the scene now. Okay, so take this for example. The one on the right is the reference image. The one on the left is the generated image. you can see that some details are good, some details are not. I'm gonna go below as much as I can because the... Hello, hey there. Did you check Stable Diffusion? Do you think it is something will eventually land on Comfy with dedicated I actually haven't. I've heard about it on Reddit. I haven't actually delved into it yet, because having a full-time job besides this doesn't leave me a lot of time to be on top of everything that happens, but it was something that I wanted to see. And also, like, being more how do you say that, like, more oriented towards stuff that can be used in the real world, I have to wait for a bit in order to see if something actually gets tested and is actually usable in the long run, rather than just jump on the latest trend, the newest thing on the block. But yeah, like it was something that came up on Reddit and I wanted to check out. Luma is saying, I was testing with a leather skirt yesterday and didn't get the right texture. Yeah, so basically Clip Vision has 3 issues, I think. And that they're all related to the resolution it sees at. It sees at, I think, 128 or at most 256, which is very, very low. And there's better Clip Vision models, but they don't work with IP adapter. At least the ones I've tried, because there's a ton of Clip Vision models out there. And the 3 main issues are that the texture is mostly never respected. The logos, they can't make sense of logos, and the patterns are not quite there yet. They're all kind of the same issue at the end of the day, because they're all related to the resolution that Clip Vision sees at, but they're I don't even know if we want to find a solution for that, because all of the space is moving towards a different direction completely. It's moving towards miniaturizations of models rather than enlarging models and having heavier models, and this is kind of something that is very, very specialized. And I know for a fact that Alibaba is working on it and Google is working on it, but like, if you have the firepower of a conglomerate like Alibaba or Google, then yeah, you can develop internal models and try and solve these issues. But I don't see this as something that is you know, actually being pursued actively in the open source space. So yeah, as I was telling you before, like, we have this kind of editorial that we want to develop for a magazine, and the fashion editor gave us a body pose for reference, a model face, obviously with their consent, as reference, and all these items of clothing. And so we were trying to find a way to kind of have all of these meshed together. And as you can see, like, these issues that I was talking about with IP adapter just are not solvable, really, at least now, at least if you're trying to do like a full body picture. So that's what I'm most interested in right now, and this and the 3D mix kind of approach that I'm developing. These 2 are the things that I'm most interested about. The animation stuff I did because a lot of you were asking about it. I'm not big on animation, so if you want to keep pursuing it, then that's great, but otherwise I've been using IDM Vuitton, but it generates low resolution images. Yeah, I've tried that out, and if you, I don't know how many of you in the chat or amongst you future viewers are fashion photographers or fashion people, like people who work in the fashion industry, but all of these VTONs seem really great to people who don't work in the fashion industry. For people who work in the fashion industry, the issues are glaring. I'm not even kidding. Like, even seen from a distance, those pictures sometimes kind of fool me as well. But when I zoom in to the details, there's no way those images are sellable in any shape or form. Like maybe for a lower end brand or platform, let's say like Wish or even Shine, they could be good enough. But for an e-commerce that sells a polo shirt for hundreds of bucks, no, never, not a chance. It's never going to happen, because the other talks I had, the main issues, like one of the e-commerce had one issue that I want to talk about, which was it's hard for us to sell bags without returns, because people don't realize how big or small a bag is. And if you can start from like a still life image of a bag and have and generate a reference image of someone holding that bag with the right dimensions, then we'd be thrilled with that as a product, because that would reduce our return rates a lot. So, and that was just one of their concerns about returns. And if you have images that are generated and cost nothing to generate basically, but the return rates are insane, because people see a polo shirt with like 2 buttons and and the real polo has only 1 button. They're gonna return that because they spent a couple $100 on that, and they don't want a polo shirt that is as close as possible. They want that polo shirt. I live in Sweden, and I went to a bootcamp last month, and they were really pushing for implementation of AI in developing solution of e-commerce workflows. A lot aimed to secondhand as well. Yeah, I mean, you solved this issue, you solved a $1 trillion issue, but the thing is that no one has a solution for this right now. There is a push for it, that there's obviously interest in it. It's just that there's no solution that I've seen that works well enough. But yeah, there's definitely a gold rush for this kind of solution. I'm actually gonna show you what I mean right now. Okay, so let's build a very simple workflow. I'm gonna just load let's say an SDXL model, Lightning, so that it's faster this way. And what we want to do is just, I'm gonna add a case sampler. I'm gonna run you through it because that's what I do, right? So let's add some clip testing code, and I won't actually need those because I'm gonna tell you about it later, but I found that sometimes IP adapter works best when you don't actually say anything in the prompts. And what we want to do now is create an IP adapter pipeline that works for fashion. Let's try and do that. Okay, so IP adapter advanced. Let's bring up the unified loader. Let's select plus, run the model through the IP adapter unified loader and the IP adapter advanced, and hook up the model to the case sampler. Okay, so load checkpoint. No, wait, no, that's load image. Load image. And yeah, let's load up the image that I was showing you before. So if you go into the documentation for IP Adapter Plus, you can see that Matteo talks a lot about how Clip Vision sees stuff. There's even, I think, a prepare for Clip Vision, or what? Prep image for Clip Vision node, which is basically just a sharpening node, and it crops because Clip Vision sees the image in not 512 by 512. I mean in a square resolution. So this image has to be a square. But if you go over to the documentation for the Clip Vision models that IP Adapter is using, it sees at best, and it's trained upon at best, I think 256 by 256. Sometimes like some images, like I think something like less than 5% of the images at a resolution higher than that, but the bulk of the images that it's been trained on, it's 128 by 128. So it can't really discern the textures that are behind it. So okay, let's do that. I'm gonna link up the image, and I am going to, let me check if I have a test image that I can use. Body sample. Do we have any other body samples? Someone that is not a real person. Yeah, I have the one from Outfit Anyone. I'm sure they won't be angry I'm using it. So, load image. Image resize. But wait, I don't need to resize it because I'm using it as a mask. Okay, so we brought up the image from Outfit Anyone. This is the default image from Outfit Anyone, which is developed by Alibaba, or at least it's been bought by Alibaba. And if we open it in Mask Editor and select the area that we want to inpaint in with the IP adapter, like roughly, and save to node, then we're going to draw up an empty latent image, set it to 1024 by 1024, hook it up to the case sampler, change the case sampler to anything that makes sense for an SDXL Lightning model. So 6 steps, 1.5 CFG. We'll see if we can go lower than that. And DPM++ and SGM uniform. Let's go VAE decode, link up the VAE, and then preview image. Okay, we got everything here. That's it. Q prompt button. It's gonna take a sec because it's loading up all the models here, and I'm live streaming. So, does they have any explanation why they use such a lower resolution to train the models? Because it's expensive. Because you have to think of resolution as area, not length. Resolution doesn't scale linearly; it scales quadratically. Wait, what happened? What? Oh yeah, I haven't said anything. Yeah, sorry. No, we don't have to use. We don't have to use an empty latent image. That's me. Okay. We have to use a load image node. Sorry, if I do stuff while I'm talking, image resize. (1024 by 1024) VAE encode. Image pixel VAE latent. Yeah, as I was telling you, let's see if this works. Otherwise, oh no, wait, that's the wrong one. Yeah. Let's say 0.7, and this is not the right image that we want, it's this one. And we want to act on, well, actually we want to act on the attention mask. Let's see it like that. Let's see if it works like this, otherwise I will have to inpaint. But yeah, as I was telling you about, area scales quadratically, not linearly. So the jump from 128 to 256, yeah, it doesn't work. It is 4 times. It's not 2 times. And 512, it's 16 times, not 2 times, not 4 times. So yeah, just a sec. I'm gonna open it in mask editor. Oh, actually, I can just use the other one image. This should work, right? It should. Okay. Andrea, do you have any thoughts on compressed models? Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at this. Do you have any thoughts on compressed models versus full precision of the same model? Is there much of a difference in performance? What do you mean about compressed models versus full precision? Do you have any examples like model names because I might not have an understanding of that. How do you get your images to... Sorry, how do you get your image to display down in the sidebar? I've always had it. I don't know how do you do that. It's something that I just had. I'm sorry, I can't be much more of help. I think maybe it's the manager. I don't know. Let's see if there's something in here. And there shouldn't. There really shouldn't be. Maybe in the preferences, something like that. So let's take these images side by side, but click the picture icon on the top of the manager. Oh, wow. I reached a new feature, really? I always had it. Like, literally always had it. That's weird. Okay, let's bring these up side by side. As you can see, it's completely different. And and it's not just different because it's, like, here there should be hooks and here you have zips, or like the neck is completely different. Like, it's kind of the same, but yeah, it's a JK. I can give it the paste bin after. That's fine. This is just like a very quick and dirty one. Like, it's. I don't even know if it can be called a workflow. It's just like an image-to-image workflow for in painting clothes. Like it is something that people think it's groundbreaking, but as I'm telling you about, it's complete rubbish. If you get a model from ComfyUI or whatever, you can download different sizes of the same model depending on preference setting. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, I don't understand that. Okay, so it all comes to the model, really. You have to test it. Like, for example, I find that with control nets, I like the ones that are more on the lightweight side rather than the heavier ones, because I don't need as much precision. At least I don't need such a higher degree of precision that warrants a model that is much more heavy than the lightweight ones. And in some of my tutorials, I say so as well. Like, if I'm working, or at least I'm trying to work in real time, I always try to be as lightweight as possible. If, like, for checkpoints, you can test them out. Usually I try not to go down in quality on checkpoints, but for control nets and clip vision and whatever, if I don't need the high degree of precision, then yeah, absolutely, I go for the lower end ones. Are you going to provide the... Yes, I can absolutely provide you the workflow. This is a trash workflow. So let's actually try and fine tune this one, because this one is, it really is trash. So don't get excited about this, because this is bad. I think the jacket looks like it fit pretty well. Yeah, it does. It didn't. And don't take it this the wrong way, but that's what I'm telling you about when I say that non-fashion people, people that don't work in fashion, in the fashion environment, in fashion industry, don't understand. Thank you, Jonas. This fit is terrible, and I'm gonna explain you why. So you can try and get that from now on. So basically, you can see that this is a very loose fit, and it also should go below the waist. At least it should be going over here. Whereas ClipVision doesn't have any frame of reference here. It only has the wrists to kind of understand what's going on, but like the wrist could be wherever. This is an oversized jacket. If you see this jacket on the runway, it's really big. It's really oversized. It's not a tight fit at all, and it got that right for the arms, but it didn't get that right for the chest and for the bottom. So this would be completely unsellable. Again, it could be sellable on something like Wish or Shine, where you're paying cents for an item of clothing. But if you're paying a designer jacket such as this one, hundreds, if not thousands, you don't want something that is close enough. You want the real deal in the e-commerce picture. But yeah, like, and you're missing a lot of stuff anyway. So and this is like one of the issues with it. And apart from this, there's really no way to actually deal with it. The only way that I found to deal with it is to set up the whole scene in Photoshop. Let me show you what I'm telling you about. Okay, so let's bring up a new file. Okay, so we got this one. Let me bring back the jacket. Where was it? Over here. Okay, we got the jacket. I'm gonna just select the subject. Gonna mask it, and I'm just gonna kind of warp it around so that it makes sense. I'm just gonna flip it, because I shouldn't flip it, because this would be bad for an e-commerce, because like this should face left, not right. This is the first issue that would be, but just, you know, for the sake of simplicity over here, because otherwise like I can't do this live. And I'm just gonna warp it around, puppet warp it, so that it fits at least a bit better. And like this is the fit that they should have had from the beginning, right? So I'm gonna just save it like this. And downloads, yeah, that's fine. Gonna bring up the workflow again. And I'm gonna try and work on this now. So I'm going to open it in the mask editor. I am going to select this. Save to node. I'm gonna get to your point, Luma, in a sec, because I think it's actually quite smart. 0.8. Let's go 0.7 actually. For denoising, I mean. And let's see what happens here. Okay. We got a better one. And if we lower the denoise more, we get better results. Better and better and better results. Because what denoising does is basically it's blending together the original image into the new image. Like, at least think of it this way. Like 0.6, not great. Let's go 0.5. Also, this is an SDXL Lightning model, so it's not as precise. But you can see that at least we're getting somewhere. But the thing is, we are getting somewhere. But no, it wasn't the masking Luma. It was just starting from a picture that had the original item clothing on top of it. So this way, with a lower denoising value, 0.5 in this example, the model doesn't have to generate something that is too far off from this starting point. Whereas before, the model had to try and visualize what it saw in IP adapter with clip vision on top of almost naked body. Whereas on this one, it's already clothed with the same outfit. But the thing is, this is not scalable at all. This is complete trash for e-commerces. This is not a solution. This is a solution for smaller e-commerces. This is a solution for e-commerces that do like 50 items per drop per season, something like that. You can do this in a couple of weeks, and then yeah, you can be happy with it. And it's not perfect. It's just something that we did in 2 minutes, but it's far from perfect. I wouldn't be happy with this one, so honestly, if I was an art director or if I was a stylist. But at least it's closer, right? No, it can see below the mask. This is an attention mask. So it is just where the IP adapter is focusing on the original picture. So it's taking this picture as a reference for IP adapting something on top of the original picture. And this attention mask is where the IP adapter is acting on top of the original picture. And we're using this original picture as a base for the VAE encode. But this VAE encode is not being denoised completely. It's starting from 0.5. So half of it, it's not being denoised at all. I mean, I'm talking really broad terms. This is not the best way to explain this, but think of it as not going from 0 to 100. Like you're not going from 0 to 100 meters. You're not walking all the way. You're starting from 50 meters. So you already know where you're going. Whereas if you're starting from 0, you don't even know where you're going. You're already halfway there. But yeah, I don't remember what I was telling you about before. But at least this is better. At least this is something that you can try and work on. But yeah, and this was an easy one to mask on top. Think of this in terms of looks. You want to have a top here. Maybe you want to have this jacket but open with a t-shirt underneath. Maybe you want to have a necklace. Maybe you want to have some you want to have a skirt. You want to have white wool socks, sports socks. You want to have some Tabitha shoes. You want to have some you want to have a cap. You want to have all of these items together, and then all the IP adapters are trying to force themselves on top of an image, and that's ton of stuff that is happening and a ton of stuff that could go wrong. So yeah, not quite there yet. Completely not quite there yet. Now, one thing that I've found works really, really well is that you want to create a base. If you have all of these kind of things together, and that's where I am getting at Luma, that's 3D could be the way to go, but still not scalable. But for small projects like editorials and ad campaigns, it could really work well. Is that you want to start from a base. So in this case, you would want to dress the model up either in Photoshop or with the use of multiple IP adapters, at least with something that is close enough to the final result. And then you want to pass the image through one IP adapter at a time for every single item of clothing. So let's say you had the top here, a skirt, the shoes, a hat. You would try and combine all of them on top of either her body in underwear and have a close enough source, and then run each one of those garments, so starting from the shoes, for example, or starting from the jacket or from the t-shirt, and then move on each and every single item, because that way it doesn't have to denoise all the way every single time, and it can try and and focus on each piece of clothing, every single item of clothing at a time. And this is good for your 3D approach, in a sense that because Marvelous Designer is easy. It's honestly, I don't have any other way to say it. Ciao Sergio. It's that it's very, very easy. So if you can compose a 3D scene, or at least something like some 3D scenes that can apply to different situations that you may have. So let's say a t-shirt, a jacket, coat, all these things mixed together, then at least you have some sort of a base where you're starting from, and then you're building on top of that with the IP adapter. You're starting from somewhere, which is the complete different, like it's the completely opposite approach of virtual try-ons. Virtual try-ons are zero shot. Like virtual try-ons are trying to generate an image of an item of clothing regardless of what was happening in the underlying picture. Whereas here, what I'm trying to do is generating something from an image that had a close enough item of clothing. I don't know which approach will be best in the long run. I think that virtual try-ons are getting better and better. But the thing about VidOns is that they're not open source, so they're all closed behind APIs, and I'm not a fan of that, but I realize that there's a lot of money to be made, so I can't really judge them too harshly. I would probably do the same if I were in their shoes. I have done the same. Okay, so if you're interested in something like this, then we can try and figure out something better for this one. We can live with an actually good, or at least something resembling good of a workflow that is based upon this one. Otherwise, if you have any suggestions, feel free to do so in the chat. You got a couple of minutes and then we'll move on. Maybe a couple of minutes is too much for a live chat. Any questions about it? Anything you're like? You don't have to say you agree with me. I can be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. I've been wrong more times than I've been right, actually. Okay. So, could Canny depth map out on the details of the jacket? Yes, it would. It actually would, and let's try that out. Actually, it would and it wouldn't. Let's see what I mean by that. So I have to load a new image because the image that I'm using here is masked and I don't want to use a masked image. So I'm not even sure if importing an image that is masked would result in a masked control net. We could test it, but I don't want to. So let's use an advanced. No, actually, we don't even need an advanced. Apply control net. Honestly, I don't know the difference between the apply control net and the apply control net advanced node. Like, apart from the start percent and end percent, what I mean is that I don't know the difference between hooking up the negative conditioning into a control net. I never understood it. Like, because I never get different results between these two, apart from the start percent and the end percent, I mean, but yeah. Okay, so we're working with 1024, so we might want 1024 just in case. Image resize, you never know. 1024, 1024, image. Conditioning comes from here and goes through there. And let's draw up. I don't know, Marvelous Designer don't like sprint surfaces, but I purchased Character Creator. Yeah, Character Creator is very, very good. Yeah, I told you about Marvelous Designer because it's the one I've tried, but because funny thing, I'm like, when I'm thinking about personal projects that I would like to tackle, I personally hate e-commerce. I hate e-commerce and I hate e-commerce photography with a passion. It's something that a lot of us fashion photographers do when we're starting off, and I've hated it so much when I was younger that I swore off I would kill it. And so before I tried to kill it with generative AI, I tried to kill it with 3D. So my brother and I, we tried to develop a way to do virtual try-ons, or at least AR try-ons, with Unreal Engine, and so we tried to devise a way to generate meshes through Marvelous Designer and photogrammetry. But yeah, that was short-lived, very short-lived, because we realized very, very soon the amount of power the eventual servers would need to have to serve in real time in AR the amount of polygons that something like that would have. So, yeah, that's a kind of a funny story. Okay, control net loader. I'm gonna try with. I don't like Canny, honestly. I prefer line art. Actually, the one I like the most is soft edge for this kind of things. But let's do line art. Is there a line art preprocessor? Never. Let's go with anime line art. Sure, it's fine. Yeah, maybe 0.8. Because this is SDXL. Yeah, let's go. Fabio, what I'm doing is finishing it on Photoshop, pasting the original above the result and working with shadows and lighting to match illumination. Oh boy. Oh boy, you weren't here at the start. Yeah, I am sorry to say, I am really sorry for this endless hours you've spent. Oh, what is this? Oh yeah, it's a SD 1.5 model with an SDXL. Yeah. Do I have a line art? I have a canny. Okay, canny. I'm gonna show you just while it works. I'm gonna show you something, Fabio. Poltergeist. You are late to the party, my friend. Why is it not working now? Okay. I'm gonna show it again just on sec chat. God, I always wanted to say just one sec chat or just talking to chat directly. This is such a dream come to life for me. It's a big moment for me, you know. See, you realize that, chat. So this is Fabio. If you're still here, please say so in the chat because other people have already seen it. But this is from back in August, so you're really late to the party. And this doesn't even require Photoshop. This is all done in how's it called? It's because I'm not a programmer. I'm not a dev at all. It's a JavaScript application. This is done in without Photoshop. It's done in with GIMP, but with a J instead of a G, which is a JavaScript native GIMP repository, and it starts from an e-commerce picture of an item of clothing, and it generates a person wearing it. Same item overlaid on top of it, and same kind of lighting, and everything else is fake. So you don't even need to do stuff in Photoshop. But these kind of things didn't work out for e-commerces, and I've talked to some of them, and yeah, because they want full outfits. They don't want just one item of clothing at a time and the other one to be fake. So yeah, sorry to rain on your parade, but if it works for you, that's great. But yeah, okay, we've added Kenny. Let's see how it turned out. Well, first let's see the candy. Here's the candy. That's not nearly enough. As you can see, the candy is not seeing anything of relevance here. Not even at 0.2, 0.9. Let's go 0.1, 0.9. No bueno. 0 to 1. Nope. The texture is somewhat better, but it's not great. It's like fish scales now, which is not great. It's not leather. And it didn't keep the inserts here, the folds here. It didn't keep the strap. It didn't keep anything really. And that's because, as I said, it's not seeing at a high enough resolution, and it's not outputting at a high enough resolution. Let's do another thing, chat. Let's do another experiment. Let's crop it. Let's see if it gets better. I'm gonna crop it above the waistline because I don't want to have any accidents. And I'm gonna save it. I was researching about it, and there are a lot of companies that say that they had solved the fitting issues. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. I read somewhere that are people building on top of Google models for virtual try-on. Yeah, Google one is good, but at least it's not open source. It's software as a service. Like, I know the limitations of it because I've tried to sell it, and the thing is, you are always trying to sell something that is not quite there, and that's kind of the game. It's kind of the way you play the game, because if you waited for everything to be perfect, you would quite literally never be ready to release. And also, like, there's only a certain amount of internal testing you can do, right? There's like, you can't be expected to be able to test everything that can happen in an open environment during your internal testing. There is no way you can do that. So every time I see cherry-picked results from virtual try-ons that are not good enough, even if they are cherry-picked, I think of all the different, I think of all the different scenarios that stylists and art directors that I know come up with. And then I say, okay, yeah, this is not going to work. At least not now. I'm sure it will eventually. It's just not happening now. Again, might be wrong, but maybe out there is a virtual try-on that is working perfectly and I don't know about it, but... Okay, so, as you can see, we started from a cropped image now, and it gets better. But let's see in detail what's happening here. And actually, this is a good example of what I was talking about when I said this is both an issue of the way that Clip Vision sees things and the resolution that it's outputting. So, cropping it solved one issue. It solved the issue that some of these details were too small to be generated properly when the amount of pixels for those details was too low. In the previous example, these how do you say that in English? I don't know. These belt things, they were too small. Like, the image was 1024 by 1024, so those belt things, they were like at most like 10 by 10, even less maybe. So there wasn't enough resolution to make sense of that. Now they're much bigger. Like if this is 1024, this is what, 60 by 60, something like that, 80 by 80, and there's much more detail that can be crammed in there. But let's see, like here we can see something that was an issue before and it's still an issue now, and that's related to Clip Vision rather than to resolution, and that's the texture. We can still see that it looks like fish scales. Same as before, like the fish scales now are smaller, yes, but they're still kind of looking like fish scales. And that's because the image that it's starting from, it's this one. And this one is not changing, it's never changing for Clip Vision. Regardless of the output resolution, this one is still the same. And Clip Visions keep seeing it the same way. So it keeps outputting the same kind of texture that it thinks it sees. Yes, Luma, you absolutely want to do that. Yes, that's the next step. Yeah. But I'm glad we're getting that together. Like I'm stoked about this. I am quite happy. Like because when I try to think about all this stuff when I'm working alone, it takes ages for me to get there, because you're thinking about it by yourself, and sometimes the solution is right there, but you can't see it. But when you're working with other people, then like if you're not able to get it, someone else will, and that helps you. So, and that's what I like about open source, by the way. But yeah, so we got better results. The image looks better. Let's actually see the difference between low denoising and high denoising now. Let's do a 0.3, which is really, really close. Basically no difference from the photoshopped image that we're using as a base. And yeah, this is terrible. We can't use it because it's not generating enough. And 0.7, which is probably generating too much. But let's see. Yeah, this is generating too much. It's starting to add stuff that wasn't there. So around 0.5, 0.52 is usually a value that works really well, because it's starting to generate stuff, but it's not adding stuff. It's a balancing act, really. And this is why this is not this is not scalable at all. Okay, let's see some questions. On Photoshop, I'm working only with the details that was missing or different. But yeah, Fabio, but did you if you look at the presentation from before, like if you go back afterwards, after we're done, in my trial run for this software as a service kind of thing that I was trying to sell to e-commerces, you wouldn't even need to do that, because what I'm doing is, at least what I was doing back in August, IP adapter wasn't out yet. We were working with control nets on top of 1.5, not SDXL, because control nets weren't out for it yet. It was about generating a human wearing an item of clothing that had the same spatial coordinates of the item of clothing that was shot on a white background. And if it had the same spatial coordinates, then you could just overlay the original item of clothing on top of the generated image. And at that point, it would be like a seamless integration of the item of clothing on top of a generated image. And that seamless integration wouldn't need any post-producing, because all the details would be already there. Like the item of clothing would be real. It would be the same you're starting from. The underlying picture would be different, but you wouldn't see the underlying picture. That's what I'm getting at. Whereas with these workflows, like with virtual try-ons and IP adapter, you have to go through multiple steps and through multiple iterations in Photoshop or in Stable Diffusion in order to solve those issues that weren't there in the first place. But it's a no-go, because most of the e-commerces out there don't want a single item of clothing. They want a full look. What about giving the clip a direction, like using the word leather? Let's try that. Thank you, Martin. Okay, leather, let's say green leather jacket. I can't write today. Let's hit Q prompt. Let's see if it works better or not. So in my previous testing, I've seen that it usually doesn't. Actually, okay. Let's do something different. Okay, I'm gonna copy everything here. And I'm gonna copy this one as well. Because I need to have both of them at the same time, and one needs to be without the positive prompt. And this one goes here, this one goes here. Okay. Okay. So this one without the positive prompt. And let's go. No, wait, I need the model. Oopsie. Okay, so the one on the left has a positive prompt, and the positive prompt is green leather jacket. The one on the right has no positive prompt and no negative prompt. It's empty. Let's see. Let's spot the differences. Let's play the game. Okay, so the one on the left is wrong because there's no, like, the belt here. There should be no belt. The neck is completely wrong. It has no sign of a belt here. The lines here are mostly right. And here the design is kind of wrong on the arm. Whereas here, left arm is much better. The design here is worse, because there's lines where there shouldn't be, but it has no belt here, and it has a bit of a sign of a belt here, even if it's underdeveloped. And this arm is quite the same as this one, in the sense that it's bad and it suffers from the same thing. But overall, the light hit shining on it is much better here than here. It's much more similar to the reference image. I think that's, like, honestly, after a lot of testing, I've done a lot of testing. I think that this is because if you use positive prompts or negative prompts, the generation starts to be biased about what it thinks in this case is, like, what it thinks in this case a green leather jacket should look like. Whereas we don't want it to be biased about what a green leather jacket should look like. It should just look at what the IP adapter is using as a source and start from there. It shouldn't use anything else but that. That's why I'm leaving the clip text and codes empty. And that's something that I had to, try again in order to get to that conclusion. Because, and it might be wrong, again, because, like, this is something that I discovered a couple of, like, even last week, no, a couple of weeks ago, during my test for this editorial. And it was, like, one time I left the prompt field empty by mistake, and I realized that the adherence to the source image in the IP adapter was much better. But again, it might just be chance. Oh, belt buckle. Okay, thank you. Yeah, the buckle. Yeah. Okay, one of the funny thing. One of the key, like, being a YouTuber now, I know a lot about UChat. There's metrics for anything. But one of the, like, the metrics I'm most happy about is that, like, more than half of you watch my YouTube videos without subtitles. And being a non-English, like, I'm not native. It's it's great for me. Like it's one of the best things that that I've seen out of this experience, really. Oh, by the way, is the background music too high? Because I can't hear it. Because I can't hear myself either. So please tell me if like the stream is too loud, if my voice is too loud, and do the closed captioning work well? Because again, this is my first stream. I don't know anything about streaming. First time doing this. Completely new about this. But okay, let's actually move on. Let's do something a bit... Oh, thank you, Duma. Okay, let's do something a bit more interesting about this. So we said that we want to have we want to construct a base first. Let's see if we can actually create a workflow that makes sense from start to finish. So we are going to delete the canny because... Oh, thank you, Barish. The music is too loud when you don't speak. Okay, I'm gonna just... Okay, is this better? Is it better? Let's see. Okay. Maybe something like this. Okay. So we deleted the canny because we don't care about it. We want to delete everything else here because this is not something that we care about. We don't need any more testing. So delete everything from the prompts. Let's do some tidying up. Okay, what do we want to do? The first thing we want to do is start from a starting image that makes sense. So we're starting from the full body picture. It's over here. Body sample. There we go. Okay, we want to start from the full body picture, and we'll say that we want to add two things. Let's make this simple because otherwise this is going to take too long. But image test, no testing samples. Let's go with this one for the top because these are the ones that I'm used to, because these are the ones that I was using for tests. And let's duplicate the IP adapter pipeline. We don't need a new unified loader. Okay. And we want a button. We want, let's say, these trousers. Okay, now these trousers aren't actually a good picture because they're not square. So let me just open up Photoshop for a second. I'm gonna fix them. Okay, now they're good. Oh, this is a web. I never remember if IP adapter handles WebPs or not. I think so. Let's see. Okay. We're gonna hook up the model to go through all the IP adapters and then onto the case sampler. And then we're going to fix the mask on both of them so that the left one is for the top. Save to node. Oh, it does. That's great. Okay, yeah. I think maybe this it's a new thing. Maybe it's for the version 2 that it does, because I remember maybe it's that's why I'm worried about it, because maybe V1 didn't, and I can never remember it because I was testing this back in November, I think. I'm actually gonna show you the the notes. Wait a second, because this is funny. Let's see if I have it right here. So you can see the amount of complete degeneracy that I was up to. Yeah. This was the note 3 for what I was up to in back in November. This was supposed, and it actually kind of works, to be a plug-and-play solution for a remote software as a service product that could start from top and bottom picture, and actually top and bottom picture, and start from a picture of a model, real or otherwise, and then generate that same model wearing those clothes. And yeah, that was it. Fun times. Okay, so we got a canny here that is not doing anything at all. What we might want to have is actually a adapt node. Yeah, it's good to show a complex stuff to your potential investors or clients, because they think, oh, it must be so smart. Whereas I see something like that as was there no other way to do that? Like, was that really the best he could do? I'm talking about myself, so I can be harsh. But yeah. Also, if you want to really impress clients in fashion photography, you want to have a ton of lights in your studio setup, and maybe not all of them are working at the same time, just in order to make a scene. Then you have some lights on a channel and some lights on another channel, so that they don't fire off when you're actually shooting, but you have a ton of lights, so the clients would say, oh yeah, we spent a ton, but he was so worth it. They can't tell. Okay, depth map, depth anything. Conditioning, top and bottom. Okay, that's right. Value is missing. IP adapter, yeah, that's right. Non-type has no attribute copy. What is wrong with it? Yeah, because I didn't select a depth model. That's why. And nope, because I had a way too low denoise value. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying good base. This, despite the fact that it might not actually look like a good base, is a good base, because at least you're starting off from somewhere. Like somewhere that is not underwear. So, you know, if you wanna reiterate on that, for example, let's go with this. And then we're gonna decode again. Oh, let's keep the seed fixed so that it doesn't regenerate every single time. SGM uniform, denoise 1. Noise. Nope. Add noise? Yep. Oh, Sigmas, really? No, this is not. Why do you need Sigmas for this one? Let's see if you need Sigmas. No, you need the Sigmas. How do you inject noise? I don't remember. Oh, let's drop it. Okay. What do you want to do now? You might want to crop it, honestly. So you have this image. You copy it. I'm gonna put it inside of Photoshop rather than doing it all in ComfyUI, because one of my tenets in generative AI is that if you have to spend way more time doing it inside of ComfyUI than you're actually doing inside of anything else in your traditional environments, then maybe you shouldn't do it in ComfyUI at all. So I'm gonna separate top and bottom. And I'm gonna run the whole thing again. But this time, just through one IP adapter. Let's see how that works, if it works. Because again, we're trying things out. Might not work. It might. We're breaking things and trying to make them right. Okay, and let's go. It's taking a bit. Why is it taking so long? What is taking so long? One of the other things that I really wish ComfyUI did right was unloading VRAM. But ComfyUI has no way to unload VRAM unless the nodes are set to unload the VRAM they're using. So it's actually adding a preview image node to this depth anything node so that I know what's happening here. The stream might be breaking up a bit. That's because the calculations are taking a long time here. Sorry about that. But both streaming and generating take a toll on the same piece of hardware, so what can you do? As soon as it stops generating, it should get better. And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. Let's bring it up. It's not perfect. We probably need another pass, or we need to... Well, probably just another pass, really. But we got there in a way. Like it's... As you can see, like the 3 steps are these. I'm gonna bring them up so you can see. So actually the 4th step, let me bring up the starting image as well. So we're starting from an underwear image, which is masked, but imagine there's underwear beneath the mask. And we are running it through a first pass with 2 IP adapters, one for top, one for bottom. Then we're cropping the image, which is this one, cropped. Then we're getting this one from this, which is much more precise than what we would get from just one pass of IP adapter. And this is, I think, the right way to go. Like everything here looks at least coherent. It's not good enough yet. We probably could do another pass. And actually, let's try and do that. Okay, positive, negative, they're all there. SGM uniform. You're getting your latent from here. Actually, let's do a VAE encode. Sometimes it works best. And let's go like that. I promise I'm going to clean it all up before I release this. Because this is not great. So I was just checking that the video quality was still good enough. It's taking a long time. I think the VRAM is really, really struggling right now. I'm gonna restart ComfyUI after this generation is done. Now, what we could do, which would be interesting, would be adding a segment anything pipeline, which would be a way of automating that. There's probably two ways we could go around this. We could have a bounding box for coordinates. We could have a segment anything node. If we're always using the same base image, what we could do is just use like a crop image node, which is fine. It's just, you know, kind of brute forcing the issue a bit. But there's a way of actually doing this from start to finish without going through Photoshop. Okay, we're getting the same one, or at least close enough. We're not getting anything really different. And why is that? Let's try with a lower CFG 1. Actually, let me just restart ComfyUI and see if that works. Reconnecting, please stand by. Please stand by, chat. Okay, there we go. Let's queue prompt again. Sorry, it's gonna calculate all these once again. We're gonna clean it up afterwards, huh? Because this is no good. Is this all clear to you, chat? Do you get what's happening here? You've been awfully silent. Let's see where we are. Oh, we're still at this case sampler. Let's close Photoshop. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, that helps. Hey Luma, don't worry. Okay, yeah, a lower CFG helped a bit. Not too much though. Let's do 8 steps and see if that works. Oh, it's real fast now. Okay. 8 steps might be a bit too much, but not bad. Not bad. Get in there. Let's see what happens when we run it through a proper model, not an SDXL Lightning model. Such as... I'm actually gonna go with a 1.5 model now. So let's go 40 steps at CFG 6. SD is fine. Caras. Let's change the... What I was gonna do? I'm using depth, yeah. Depth I think is fine. 1024 is fine. Depth, we should change this one as well back to 1.5. Natural sin. And let's change these steps again. So 46 Caras, 46 Caras. And let's go with a 1.5 model. So in the meantime, how are you all doing? Where are you from, by the way, all of you? Anyone who wants to type in the chat where they're from? I know that Luma is from Sweden. It's very good. Or at least if I remember that right. And when I use SDXL, I always forget how fast 1.5 is. Like SDXL, even in Lightning, is so slow when compared to 1.5 TOS. Whoopsie. Yeah, should have said not safe for work. Okay, let's change the scene just 1 sec. Did YouTube see it? Okay, maybe let's add nude and not safe for work in the negative prompt fields. Okay, I'm gonna hit Q prompt while I'm in this scene now. We just had a bit of an issue with a generation, yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I should have done that. I should have done that. Because I always do that when I'm recording video, which is editable. But well, I didn't do that when I was live streaming. Yeah, that's great. Okay, and we're back. Okay, yeah, 1.5 didn't quite deliver on the details. As you can see, some of the details are missing that were there in the SDXL version. But the material is better, and the overall first generation is better as well. So yeah, it's always a balancing act, chat. It's always trying to find what works, and it's always a pain to try and find what actually works. Okay, so yeah, I know. Nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. Nothing happened. You didn't see anything. It was like half a second. Come on, I was really fast. It's like 3 frames. I'm gonna edit that out. Okay, so I have a couple of suspicions for why this isn't quite working. The first suspect here is the depth. With a depth value of 1, the clothes are always going to be a perfect fit, or at least close to, because they have to respect the depth of it. Whereas with a lower depth value, it might get better. So let's try and do that. Wait a sec. What if it happens again? Nothing is happening, right? Yeah, there's pants. Okay. Yeah, the fit is way better now. You can see in the trousers as well. By lowering the depth, we kept the same kind of lighting, but the overall fit got a lot better, and we got some details in the wrists as well. So let's try and lower the depth a bit more. Let's go 0.4. If you're asking yourself why I'm keeping the preview image nodes out of view, is because we just had a little accident with the trousers, and I just want to make sure that the trousers actually show up in the generation rather than, you know, vanish. No, okay, oh yeah, okay. I'm traumatized now. Okay, that's great. Okay. And there we go. Yeah, it was a depth issue. The depth was way too high, so the details weren't generating properly. So now we got there. This is the source image. I'm gonna bring it up right over here, and this is the result. It's not quite there yet. It's not perfect. Like, this one is a bit overcooked, I think, which is the second pass from this one, which is the first pass. I think the first pass is closer to the original. And yeah, I think we're quite in a good place. Okay, so let's actually try and fix it up so that it all works seamlessly without going through Photoshop. Let me just fix everything up. Just one sec. Okay, I'm gonna delete this because we found that this is useless. So this is the last thing we want to do. We want to find a way to get from point A, which is this workflow on the left, to point B, which is this workflow on the right, without actually cropping in Photoshop. So let's say we want to crop. Can we do crop latent? Huh, maybe. No, I mean, maybe not. I mean, it's useless, right? Okay, let's crop this, and let's add a preview image right over here. Let's hit Q prompt. Okay, so it's 1024 by 1024. We need something that is over here. So the X should be something around 256. And maybe want something like 640 by 640. And the Y should... let's see what happens here. Okay, yeah. Maybe a bit too much. 220. Here prompt. Too much. 200. Yep, sounds about right. 180. Yeah, 190. Okay. Yep, we got it. Okay. So to 1024. So resize. Gonna resize that to 1024 by 1024. Gonna ask me, Andrea, why are you using a 1024 image as a base for SD 1.5? Shouldn't you use 512 and then upscale? The secret chat is that I have found basically no difference. I know there's a lot of upscaling purists out there, and they're scary, but I have found no difference at all. Sometimes it's better. Okay. So we actually need a way to mask it now. How do you mask a preview image? Can you mask a preview image? Yeah. Can you? Is there a preview mask node? Yeah, there is. There's so many, what? There's so many nodes I do not know about. And or even there's so many nodes that I know about, but I forget. Mask to image, image preview. Preview bridge and impact pack preview bridge. Thank you. Wow. So if I hit prompt, oh. So then I can mask this. Let's see if it actually works. Okay. Well, let's see. Gonna hide this one. Are we safe? Yeah, close enough. Yeah, it works. It keeps the mask apparently, yeah. Let's see if there's which one's better. Never mind the bottom, because the bottom we don't care about right now. I would say that the left one is better, because the detail here is better, and detail here is better, and detail here is better. By the way, yes, there's so many nodes to keep track of, and I think that's one of the issues with ComfyUI. There should really be a node pack of all, like at least a curated node pack of all the biggest hits out there, so that like people can actually, you know, just download one thing. Okay, so this is top. Now we want bottom. So let's clone it. And let's go clone this one as well. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Let's clone this. Preview image. Let's keep prompt again. I know there's an error. I know. You don't have to tell me. I just need the preview image here. Yeah, like a curated list of use case based nodes. It would be great, honestly. Or even like, yeah, like Photoshop has like a basic, how do you say that? Like templates for their for the main window, where let's do what's 1024 minus 360, something like that. Let's see. Like if you want to do photography, yeah, that was it. If you want to do photography, then it's you have all the basics for photography in the side of the window. Yeah, I know, bearish. It's just that, like, if there was a consortium of sorts of the best, like if the not best, but most recognized node developers out there that could just curate a list like quarterly or every 6 months and just re-release a pack of sorts, that would be great. But yeah, so like I know that being a solo dev is a thankless endeavor, and it's not great. So yeah, there's not much you can do about it. But so sorry, I just have to make it quick. 1024 minus 340 equals 684. Yeah, 684, not 5, 4. Okay, this one goes here, this one goes here. These are useless right now, and we want to add the trousers. Where are the trousers? Oh well, actually we can source the trousers from here and the top as well. You should increase your capture bandwidth when recording a video. The latest upload is blurry even at 1080p. Is it? Oh, thank you, Barish. I don't... video games boss. I haven't noticed that. Cause I'm gonna watch it again, but on my end it's not blurry. At least not that I've seen it. I'm gonna actually run the generation here and check it out. So we got the pants coming from here over here. So this is the bottom, this is the top. Oops. Let's see how it turns out. Grazie, Alexa. Sorry, that was Alexa telling me that it's 6:30. Actually gonna go over to my channel and take a look at that. Let's see if it's blurry. $1080. It's not blurry for me. And I'm looking at it on a 4K monitor. That's weird. Anyone else who who's seeing my latest video as blurry? Okay, so we got top and bottom. Let's recompose the image. So we got top and bottom right over here. So now we have to find a way to recompose that. How do we do that? How do we do that? That's actually quite the conundrum. We merge the latent on top of another latent. We could be doing that. Or we could be... Oh wait, I have an idea. These images have the same size. So if we do... what we could do... So this is 1024, this is 1024. What we could do is use an image bridge. Preview bridge. Preview bridge image. Oh yeah, thank you, Luma. Yeah, it didn't look wrong to me. So might be something else. iVideo Game Boss. Okay. So we want the preview bridge here and the preview bridge here instead of a preview image. I'm gonna generate again. Q prompt. And then what we want to do is blend them together. Go to 1710 on your latest upload. It's blurred out. It keeps doing that. Yeah, that might be because I am generating stuff. So usually when I'm generating stuff, it might get some hiccups because the way my setup works is that I'm screen capturing at 4K, which asks a lot out of the hardware. And I'm also capturing live from my camera, and I am generating using the same hardware. So like all three things together, and I was doing animations as well. So like all these three things together, it's sometimes the video gets blurry a bit for a while while it's generating, or it starts stuttering a bit. But unless I like get another graphics card or a capture card, like not even a capture card, because well, maybe a capture card, I don't know, it would like it's not solvable. But usually nothing much happens while I'm generating. I checked your list, it doesn't look blurry to me, other than the fact that you were using a 1.5 model. I checked even at 720. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, I'm using the stuff that I already have. So, like, I'm not a full-time YouTuber. If I were, I would definitely invest in some more hardware. But like, this is what I'm getting away with. Like, and the funny thing is that I haven't invested basically nothing because, like, I already had the mic, I already had the camera because I'm a fashion photographer, and I already had the hardware for my PC because this is what I use for work. So like even this lamp, it's an IKEA lamp. Like this is just an IKEA lamp with a soft box that I got from the ones I already had, and this is like a mic stand that comes from Amazon for like $20. So like yeah, I guess like $30 was what I spent in order to be a YouTuber. And this is the quality I got out of it, so, I mean, not bad. Okay, so we have to merge these two images. Do you have any ideas how to do that, chat? I was thinking about merge by mask. So in order to blend them into 2048 by 1024 image and then downscale that to 512 by 1024. Do you have any better ideas? I'm open to suggestions. So let's see the blend by mask node, because I kind of never remember what it does. So we want to blend these two images together by mask. By mask. So we could do an empty. Is there an empty image? No. I mean, I'm sure there was like an image. There wasn't like an image resize node. There was a node that could extend the image. And it's not even 1024 because like we are applying this on top of this. So I think this is kind of a fool's endeavor. Like it's like, how do you do that? I guess it's just easier to do that in Photoshop, but if we wanted to do that inside of ComfyUI, come on chat, this is your time. Your time to shine. Do you have any ideas? We've got to get those legs on top of that waist. I'm sure chat can think of something. So, the first thing that comes to mind is that they have to have at least the same spatial coordinates. Like, at least... Because the thing here is that her wrists are below the waist. But we have to start from the waist. Oh, you know how to do it. Well, just... like, if you want to give broad... like a broad description of it, I might get it. But I mean, we're already starting from an image. Wait a second. We're already starting from this. What if we go pasting on top of it? Anyway. Like, we have this mask. No, we can't. Damn. How do you do it? So I guess what you could do is expand this. So you could not resize it back to 1024. operate it in a like 684 by 684 kind of size, then expand it to 1024 by 1024. At this point, this has the same spatial coordinates as this, and then overlay it by mask and do the same for the top. That's something you could do. Or just resize this to 640 and then resize it again back to 1024 by expanding. Is there an expand or image expand batch? No, there is a image resize. Node. Nope. Oh, maybe yes. Image resize. Let's see if it's this one. Nope. Image. There's a ton of different image resize nodes. I don't need as many. Rescale, resize. What's the difference? No. Image resize. Image resize to square. Nope. Wait a sec, chat, I know it. I've seen it in a video. What's the node? Pad image for outpainting. Load image, convert mask to image, cut by mask, paste by mask. Yeah, but no, the problem here is that we have to paste. So we have to paste only this on top of this, but we don't know the spatial coordinates of it. And if we just paste this on top of this, this is not working. But we have the mask coming from here. So what we could do is just do use something that it shouldn't be used for that. So let me just show you what I mean. So we have to do image resize to 640, I guess, in this case. Then we have to prepare, no, pad image for outpainting. Okay. And then we go 640 on all sides to 1024. That's just a sec. 1024 minus 640. That's 384. 384 divided by 2. That's 192. 92. No, not in all directions. That's just wait, because we have to recreate this. Okay, so oh my god. So we got on the X side 190, so that's 190 on the left side. Then it's 640. Oh my god, this is so much math. I don't like doing so much math. This is where the segs tool are super useful. Segs based nodes does exactly this, but you need to convert the mask to segs. And okay. All right. Yeah. That would be great, actually. But let's try to do it this way. So we don't have to add anything on top. We have to add 384 on bottom for sure. Then we have to add 1024 minus 192 plus 640 on the right hand side, which is 192. Yeah, I could have seen that coming. Okay, so if my calculations are right, this should be a square. Yeah. We got it. Paste by mask. Yeah. But like first I need to prepare an image that can contain these the trousers, because otherwise the trousers would they would go nowhere. So first I need to recreate a square image where this one is just a part of it. So that's what I mean. Okay, so like in this case, if we do blend image by mask with this one, so image A is this one and the mask is this one. Oh no, oh, it takes mask to image. Oh my god, this is such a disaster of a workflow. One, preview image, a spray. Yeah, kinda. Okay, but you get what I mean at least. Okay, so I guess what we want to do, what we should do is use a segment anything node. Oh my god, I don't want to. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, no. This is getting harder than it should. Okay, segment anything. Grounding dino. Oh no, I don't have it installed on this one. But yeah, you get what I'm getting at. I'm going to work on this a bit more after I'm done. I can't work on this tonight because I have to end it here. I'm sorry. I wished I could finish this this workflow with you. But I'm going to update the description of the video with the workflow once this is done, probably tomorrow. And I'm going to leave it in the description below. And I'm going to post a community post with the announcement that it's done. Yeah. I hope you like this. Do you have any last words, Chatterinos? You have 1 minute to say your last words. And yeah, once this is done, hopefully the segment anything node should be taking care of masking this top on top of the starting image, the starting torso, and then the same for the trousers. And then we can get much more detail out of it this way. Yeah, Barish, I'll also check out the sex back for it. I think it would be a good idea to, yeah. Because I think this would be like we could work really well with segment anything. I just didn't want to run a segment anything pipeline because it gets harder for no good reason, quote unquote. But like this is interesting enough to warrant like a sex pipeline as well. Okay, thank you everybody. I'm very happy about how this turned out. nothing happened. No incident happened. I'm gonna edit out the incident that never happened, and yeah. Thank you. All right, I'll be catching you. Well, I will update you with the community post, and I will catch you next week on Monday with another video. Good night, good afternoon, good rest of the day, wherever you are. Bye-bye.